part of women's soccer match between Graceland University and your number 7 nationally ranked Central Methodist Eagles. We ask that all players, coaches, and spectators abide by the MAIA Chambers of Character values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. And now let's meet the starters for tonight's contest. First, for the visiting team on the scoreboard, Graceland University. Number 3, Maria Gomez. Number 4, Lexi Zabel. Number 5, Kimasang Lasholi. Number 6, Ariana Gomez. Number 7, Adelia Briscott. Number 12, Rachel Armit. Number 14, Hannah Wadera. Number 15, Isabel Wilson. Number 20, Hannah Marshall. Number 39, Shani Marion. And in goal, number 44, Jasmine Lopez. The Yellow Jackets are led by head coach Brian Courtney, and he's assisted by Zach Newton. And now it's time to introduce this evening's starters for your Central Methodist Eagles. The junior midfielder, number 3, Kitty Tork. The senior defender, number 4, Laura Heisenbeck. Junior defender, number 7, Alicia Zamora. The senior midfielder, number 10, Maria Cerveo. Junior midfielder, number 11, Sandra Jakobsen. The freshman forward, number 15, Jade Perron. The sophomore defender, number 15, Paris Pinchard. Freshman forward, number 16, Maya Henriksen. Senior forward, number 18, Ronisha Frank. Junior midfielder, number 19, Celine Witt. And in goal, junior, number 1, Judith Gonzalez Oliveras. The Eagles are led by head coach Dan Schmidlin, and he's assisted by Tyler Watkins and Carlotta Baldwin. Good luck to both teams.
All right. Hi, everyone. Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications here at Central Methodist University, bringing you the nightcap of our triple header here at Davis Field. We've got Heart of America Athletic Conference women's soccer for you here at Davis Field as your number 7 Central Methodist Eagles are going to take on the Yellow Jackets of Graceland University. This is, like I said, the nightcap. We had football this afternoon at 1 o'clock. And then the men just picked up a 2-0 shutout of Graceland, and our women are going to see if we can pick up another win. So we appreciate y'all coming in, tuning in, and hanging out with us on this fine Saturday evening. Shout out to Lucy Brazil. I know she's watching the stream. My former GA doing big things down at Tulane University. So, Lucy, shout out to you if you're watching or listening. I know you are, and I know that's a silly question. So, we'll get things going here momentarily. And the officials checking his watch, checking that we're good. He's going to blow the whistle, and away we go. So looking at, I'll get you some starting lineups here. You might have been able to hear me over the PA, but I'll give them to you again. So for Graceland, we've got number 3, Maria Gomez, 4, Lexi Zabel, 5, Tumasang Lasholi, 6, Ariana Gomez, 7, Adelia Bristott, 12, Rachel Armit, 14, Hannah Waldera, 15, Isabel Wilson, 20, Hannah Marshall, 39, Shani Marion, and in goal is going to be number 44, Jasmine Lopez. And of course, the Jackets are led by head coach Brian Courtney. He is pulling double duty, also coaching the men's side. So our current women's coach, Dan Schmidlin, knows a thing about that. He coached the men and the women for a number of years before Coach Nichols came in and took sole control of the men's program. And as I say that, Frank, back to Henriksen. And again, starters were put up on the screen for you earlier. I'll read them off to you, though. So for Central, number 3, Kitty Torek. 4, Laura Heisenbeck. 7, Alicia Zamora. 10, Maria Cerveo. 11, Sandra Jakobsen. 13, Jade Perron. Number 15, Karis Pinchard. 16, Maya Henriksen. 18, Ronisha Frank. 19, Celine Witt. And in goal is number 1, Judith Gonzalez Oliveras. And an interesting note, we had Marcela Helena on the starting lineup, but she was a late scratch with an injury, so Karis Pinchard is filling in at that spot, or at least in the lineup. And Central's led by head coach Dan Schmidlin. He's assisted by both Tyler Watkins and Carlotta Baldo. Eagles entered this matchup with a 6-2-1 record overall, a 2-0-1 mark in conference play. They recently had a 1-1 tie against Missouri Valley this past Wednesday in Marshall. And it's Frank, now Erickson with it. And I mentioned this on the men's broadcast, but you'll probably see a few more ties in collegiate soccer now that across all divisions they have gotten rid of the overtime rules in the regular season. So if we get to 90 minutes and we are scoreless or we are tied, they're just going to call it a day and end it in a tie. Obviously, postseason, that'll be a little bit different, but we'll get there when we get there. Jakobsen. Perron. Looking for Perron. They're calling for offsides, but I wasn't even close to it. And before we get too far into this, I just want to give a shout out to our corporate partners for their continued support of Central Athletics. It's going to be MFA Oil, the Braun Home, Community Auto Sales and Service, Howard Electric Co-op, Airlink, Drew Hotels, Missouri Pacific Lumber, and Steve Miller of Rebacks Boone Realty. Also want to give a big shout out to Charlie Brown of Prepcast Sports. He is an alumni of Central Methodist and always does great work on our football and basketball broadcasts. Had a tall order today, ran into some internet troubles, but just want to let him know that we appreciate him and all that he does for us here at CMU. Always does a great job. Jakobsen, over to Henriksen. Henriksen, not going to matter though. Flag is up. That's going to be the first offsides of the evening. So looking at what Central has done, Central really had a challenging non-con schedule. They shut out Southwestern Christian 4-0, and then they made a short trip over to St. Louis, and they fell to Cumberland's, traditionally a top 10 team, 2-1, and then they knocked off Aquinas. They beat William Woods, and then they lost to, I think at the time, Marion was number 7 in the country, 2-1. But since then, they've rattled off wins over Missouri Baptist, MNU, Clark, and then, of course, they tied Missouri Valley, who is number 15. So, and you know when Coach Schmidlin schedules those games early on, he is prepping his team for the postseason. We're going to have our first corner kick of the evening. It's going to be Kitty Torque, number 3. She's going to send one into the box. Looking for Frank. Frank gets ahead on it. Sandra Jakobsen right there. And that's going to be a goal. Ronisha Frank on the set piece. That ball dribbled around in the box for a little bit, and she eventually found it at her feet, and she just tapped it on in. And Central's going to take a 1-0 lead over the Yellow Jackets just 6 minutes into this contest. And I had my stat sheet here somewhere. I was going to tell you what goal number that was, but ran into some technical difficulties. Not really. I just left my stat sheet outside, so I'm going to pull it up. But Frank, normally she's known to use her head. This time, though, she gets it with her feet. And Central takes a 1-zip lead over the Yellow Jackets just 6 minutes into this contest. And that's going to be, let's see, goal number 6 for the senior from St. George's, Grenada. And that is her 6th goal in just her 8th game. So Central gets a lot of good scoring depth from up and down the lineup. Don't have as much firepower with one particular striker as we did in years past, but a balanced offense attack will usually get the job done, and it proves to be very, very deadly, and people need to be aware of it when you get into postseason play. So Central's in a good spot. Frank's got us on the board. Heisenbeck over to Zamora. Zamora. Henriksen. Henriksen was looking for Celine Witt. Turned over there, and Gomez comes up with it. Lasholi was also right there, but that ball dribbles out of bounds, and we'll see who throws this in. It's going to be Henriksen. Back to Zamora. Witt. Cerveo. Over to Torek. Perron. Perron. Sends one across the face of goal. No one there, though. Pinchard was right there, but just not in a spot to put that one in the back of the net. And that's going to be a Graceland goal kick. Guys, you're never going to believe this, but my stat sheets were right behind me this whole time, so a little more organized than I thought. Looking at Graceland's schedule, they kicked off 2022 with a 3-3 tie to Waldorf, lost to Midland in Fremont 5-1. They picked up their lone win of the year thus far to Stevens College. That was... looks like that was in Columbia. They lost to Concordia at a Nebraska 5-2, and then have fallen to William Penn, Culver Stockton, and Grandview to open Hart Place. So the Yellow Jackets of Graceland are looking for their first Hart win, but they're already in some deep water here as Renisha Frank of Central has put the Eagles up 1-0 just 6 minutes into this match. Heisenbeck with a free kick. Frank goes up for it. And Lasholi was looking for a call. A little bit of gamesmanship, but I don't think, they said no, so we'll continue to play on. Zamora. Over to Heisenbeck. Heisenbeck and Zamora 2 All-Americans that are returning for the Eagles this year, and you have to think it's hard to score against them when you've got 2 All-Americans in the back. Cerveo over to Heinrichsen. Lascioli with it now. Lascioli maintains possession. Over to Brustat. Turned over. Now Heinrichsen comes up with it. Gonzalez Oliveras with it now. She's going to reset to Heisenbeck. Torek over on the far side now. Cerveo, looking for Heinrichsen. I think she's on sides, and she is. She's going to try and dribble that down to the quarter, send a ball in. Looking for Frank, but the goalkeeper, Jasmine Lopez, right there to scoop it up. Like I said, a busy day for Central. We had football at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We had the men play at 5 o'clock. And now we're concluding the day with a 7:30 match against Graceland on the women's side. And then, of course, volleyball is coming home with 2 big-time wins over Clark University and Mount Mercy. Both of those are 3-set sweeps. So after dropping their first 3, they rattled off 4 in a row, which is big heading into South Division play this coming week. So they've got a couple matches this week. If you guys are around, come check them out. Tuesday versus Missouri Valley at home. That's going to be inside Puckett. And then same thing with MNU. MNU is currently undefeated at the top of the standings on the south, so that's a big game. And then in between all that good stuff, you're going to have a doubleheader for men's and women's soccer. They're going to host the Valor of Evangel University. Women will start things off at 5 o'clock that Wednesday, and then the men will conclude it at 7:30. And then, of course, everyone's going to be on the road on October 1st because that is band day here on campus. So men and women, they're going to be heading up north to Des Moines, Iowa to take on Grandview. So concluding a busy weekend, but a lot of good stuff. Frank with it now. And I think she was looking for Jakobsen just outside the face of goal, but a little bit too much mustard on that one. And that's just going to sail harmlessly into the side netting. Perron. Witt with it now. Perron. Pinchard. Zamora. Zamora's got a lot of space in front of her. Frank. Back over to Torque, see if they can find some space. Jakobsen with it. Jakobsen's going to send one in. Heinrichsen's right there. Across the face of goal, that would have been a good idea. It almost had it. Just needed to angle that ball a little bit more inside towards the goal, and she would have had it. Pinchard. Pinchard. Heinrichsen. Zamora. And Cervera with a shot from about 25 yards out. Good idea, just a little bit too far. A little bit too far wide. Lopez. It's going to be a goal kick. Celine Witt. Back to Frank. She dishes it off to Witt. Witt's got some open space. Well, she takes a shot, and she does. And she's going to score! 15 minutes in, Celine Witt pads the lead 2-0 off the assist from Ernisha Frank. Beautiful little give and go. And Central. 2 goals in the first 15 minutes of play, and they are cruising here early on against the Yellow Jackets. Central really cooking now, and Graceland's got some work to do if they want to get back in this game, but... And we're going to get a foul. Looks like that's going to be on number 15, Isabel Wilson. Heisenbeck. She's going to take this from about 20 yards out, I'd say. Those soccer folks that want to correct me on that, they can shoot me a text. You know who you are. Heisenbeck sends one in. Way too far out, though. And Cerveo with it. Cerveo's got a lot of space. Jakobsen. I assume she's going to dish that off to Torek. Maybe not. And Jakobsen, another dangerous situation for Graceland. Jasmine Lopez right there to scoop it up, though, so she's been tested early. Zamora. Witt with it now. And Bristott. Delia Bristott with it now. Turnover. Heisenbeck dishes to Frank. Frank up to Witt. Ooh. And that... I don't know if that hit her in the head, but that does not look good. And we're going to have a... may have a stoppage in play. We'll see if the official calls time. I think that's going to be number 3, Maria Gomez. She took it right to the dome. And they do stop the clock. So let's see if I can pull up the Heart of America Athletic Conference women's soccer standings. See if my internet's going to cooperate with me today. Alright, so looking at the standing, and mind you, there's still some matches yet to be played, or yet to finish on this Saturday evening, so these will be likely to change within the next 2 hours. But currently the way it sits, Grandview, they've already played today. They are 3-0-1 in conference play. Central 2-0-1. If they hold on to this lead, they'll probably leapfrog Grandview in the standings for the top spot. MNU 3-1, Benedictine 3-1, Baker 1-0-2, William Penn 2-1-1, Clark 2-2, Missouri Valley 1-1-1. Culver 2-2, Park 1-2, Mount Mercy 0-3, Graceland 0-3, and Evangel 0-4. And a nice round of applause from our team for Maria Gomez as she took that ball right off the dome, and that doesn't feel good. And we're going to have our first sub of the evening. That's going to be number 8, Florencia Cambarochico. She's a junior midfielder. Don't have a hometown for her, so apologies on that. And we'll resume action. Graceland currently with possession. And Frank with the hard tackle. I think they're going to give her the foul on that, and they do. Looks almost like a football tackle there. So Wilson. See if she takes that free kick. She was the one that was fouled. Looks like it's going to be either Gomez or Armit. "27 minutes flat gone in this first half. We had Ronisha Frank score just 6 minutes in, and then Celine Witt in the 16th minute of play pushed Central's lead to 2-zip. So, good start for Central on the offensive side. And a little bit of trouble here on the defensive side. Good job by Zamora, though. She just disses that back to Gonzalez Oliveras. A little too far for Karras. That's going to be, I think, a Graceland throw in. Isabel Wilson for Graceland on the throw-in. Witt heads it. Gonzalez Oliveras. She's going to reset. She's going to send that ball way over to Torek. Torek up to Frank. Frank still with it. A little bunched up. Heisenbeck. Quick dish to Witt. Witt to Jakobsen. Jakobsen looking for Pinchard, and she's onside. It's going to be one-on-one against the goalkeeper, and she's going to slip it just past. Good save, though, by Lopez. And she just got a touch on that to deflect that out, or else it was going to be 3-zip here, just 20 minutes in. Graceland with another substitution. It's going to be number 23, although I don't have her on a roster. I don't have her on my program. So 23 is an unnamed player that, I'm sorry guys, I can't identify because she's not listed in the stats or on the program. So we'll work on seeing if we can figure out who that is. Jakobsen with it now. Say Jakobsen. Torek looking for Frank. Lopez scoops that one up. Graceland's going to survive another wave of attacks from Central's powerful forwards. Heinrichsen. Back to Zamora. See if Zamora gives that to Gonzalez Oliveras, and she does. Over to Heisenbeck. Graceland trying to pressure. Cerveo. Try to look for Perron, but that's turned over. Giving it right back, though. Celine Witt. And that ball's out of bounds. Jakobsen. Dribbling down the far sideline. Jakobsen. Couple nice moves. She gets into open space. Was looking for Pinchard. Graceland right there to ward off that attack. Witt to Frank. Witt again. She's got space. Shot. That one's blocked. Pinchard still with it. Heinrichsen. You can hear Zamora talking in the background saying, bring that ball back here, let's reset. That's what they do. Heisenbeck with it now. Torek. Perron. Jakobsen. Zamora. Zamora looking for Perron. See if she can stay on side, and I think she does. She dishes off to Frank. Frank with a nice move. Frank inside the box. And just off the post, she's going to have another go at it. And just an unlucky shot. Frank's had a couple of those this season where they're just right off the post and they bounce just in front of the line instead of behind it. So tough break for Frank, but I have a feeling she's going to get a few more of those chances. We'll just have to see. Lasholi comes off for Graceland. And I believe she was replaced by number 26, Celeste Robledo from Nuevo, California. Frank, nice little backwards dribble, looking for Witt. It's turned over, though. Heisenbeck. Torek. Zamora. Perron on the far side. Dishes it off to Jakobsen down the line. And Heinrichsen. Lopez, Jakobsen. That's going to be goal number 3 of the first half. Lopez, good job of deflecting that initial first shot, but unfortunately stayed right in front of the face of goal, and Jakobsen just there for an easy putback, and Central's going to be up 3-0 just 27 minutes into this match. So, very similar to the men's game. All right, looks like our first substitution, I'm going to assume that's number... I assume that's going to be number 21, Samantha Minks. Sorry, still learning some of our new players' names, and our home jerseys are a little bit questionable with the lime green numbers with the gray uniform, so a little little bit tough to read, so as we go along, though, we'll get better. But I think that's going to be Samantha Minks that came in. Wit with it now. And it looks like Coach Midland, he's going to bring in 3 more substitutions. And for Jakobsen, that is her 7th goal of 2022. Marcella Helena, she leads the way with 8. Like I said, balanced scoring attack from up and down the lineup with those forwards, and that's that's a good problem to have. Who can score all the goals and do what needs to get done. Heisenbeck on the free kick. Official blows the whistle. Heisenbeck's going to send one in. And Frank got her head on it. Lopez with the save, but before that even happened, the official said nope. So it looks like I said, we're going to have 3 substitutions. I see number 25, Grace Faraday. She's a sophomore midfielder out of O'Fallon, Missouri. Number 9 is Kaya Rencliffe. She's from Oslo, Norway. And I think number 21, Samantha Minks, is actually making it in. So apologies for the incorrect name given earlier. Like I said, still working on learning our newbies' names, and it's always a challenge with our jerseys. I'm actually looking at it. I think that might be number 12, Hakel Fajeda. So, slew of substitutions are coming in here shortly, and they're going to go ahead and make those. Karis Pinchard, Celine Witt, and Jade Perron are going to make their exits, but I expect them to come back to start half number 2. We'll just have to wait and see. Once again, shout out to my team for all the work they do. It's days like this are never easy. You got a triple header going on. I've been through a few before, but shout out to my GA, Caitlin Streeter, for all her work. Alan Baldwin, he did football spotting for me this afternoon, and now he's doing stats for me into the evening. Natalie Quinteros, Grace Pinkerton running our broadcast. We appreciate you guys for all the work that they do. Of course, they're going to get Sunday off. Surveyo, Heisenbeck, Jakobsen with it now. Dishes off to Torek. Torek, a lot of space over on the far side. Send it in over to Frank. Frank's going to bring it back to Jakobsen. Jakobsen was looking for Surveyo. Surveyo. Heisenbeck. Said Laura's had a couple goals this year. She could add a couple more if she wanted. She was in a good spot. Looks like Central's going to make another sub. That's going to be number 20, Carly Edwards. See who she comes in for. Heisenbeck with it now. Carly's going to replace number 10, Maria Surveyo. So, coach, with the lead that they've got, he's just looking to get some playing time and some experience for his younger players. Torek giving chase. Isabel Wilson right there, though. And it looks like Heisenbeck's going to take this throw in. Zamora. Over to Torque. Heisenbeck. Ranclev. Ranclev looking to send one into the box. That's deflected, though, and that's going to be a fairly close throw-in, and we're going to have another sub. Looks like that's going to be number 6, Julia Rodriguez. She's going to replace Heisenbeck. Frank on the throw-in, and she's going to take a few steps back, and she's going to run. Send one in. Jakobsen with the shot. That's blocked, though, and I think that's going to be a corner. Over here closest to the press box, and it is. I'm going to assume that Torque's taking this. Just a little under 12 minutes to play here in the first half. Central 3 goals. Graceland yet to get on the scoreboard, and Central's looking to threaten again. Torque gives a sign. She's going to send it into the box. Zamora was right there. It's on to Frank. And Central sideline looking for a foul inside the box, which would have been a PK, but official said, no, we're going to play on. And we do. Two more substitutions for Central. Number 5, Mathilde Bramos. And then number 22, Stina Lee. It's going to replace Jakobsen, number 11, and Ronisha Frank. And besides just a few players, I think Zamora and Kitty Torque, I think most of those others are substitutions and new folks, so good to see them to get some playing time. Stina Lee. That's turned over. Central with it now. Lopez scoops that up, though. So only 4 more regular season home matches for the women. After today, they're going to host Evangela on September 28th. Then they come back. They're gone for a couple weeks, and they'll come back and host Park University as part of homecoming. And then they'll conclude everything with Senior Day versus William Penn on October 29th. I imagine there will be a few postseason games in the conference tournament that will get hosted. But the season's go by quick in the fall, as we're almost already in October. Minks. Over to Rodriguez. Zamora. Back to Fajeda. And I'm not sure exactly what number that was, but I don't know if there's some water on the ground over there on the track, but one of those Graceland players just slipped and fell down, and I know that's not fun. So I hope she's okay. See if she walks it off. And we had a stoppage in play. See how much time they tell us to put back on the clock. They might just say, play on. And they do. Zamora. And that's going to be a foul on CMU, and Graceland's going to get that ball, and they're going to go the other way. So looking at just some quick stats for you guys as we are now under 7 minutes left in the first half. Central dominating possession, 15 shots, seven shots on goal, 1 corner, a couple offsides, 3 fouls. Graceland yet to take a shot, no shots on goal, and they've made 4 saves in addition to 3 fouls. So similar kind of situation with the women's game as was the men's in terms of just offensive power. Rancliffe sends it up to Lee. Lee sends one in. Had a couple of forwards over there. Lopez just a little bit quicker to get on top of that. Zamora. Back to Gonzalez Oliveros. Rancliffe with it down the near sideline. Rancliffe. Shot taken, but that one's blocked. Another shot in the box. Lopez right there, though. A couple more subs coming on for Graceland. Looks like it's going to be number 16, Catalina Rojas, and then number 13, Danielle Knutson. And just want to give another shout out to our corporate partners for their continued support of CM Athletics. MFA Oil, the Braun Home, Community Auto Sales and Service, Howard Electric Co-op, Airlink, Drury Hotels, Missouri Pacific Lumber, and Steve Miller of Remax Boom Realty. We appreciate all you guys do to help make our broadcast possible. Throw in for the Yellow Jackets. Radcliffe clears it. And we had a foul. And I think that's going to go the other way, and it is. Zamora. Rodriguez. Fajeda. And a hard tackle. We'll see if they call a foul. They don't. Graceland player's still down on the field. We'll see if he calls it. And I think he's going to have to stop that clock at some point, and he does. So, 1:52 remaining here in half number 1. Renisha Frank started things off in the 6th minute of play. Celine Witt added the second goal of the match on a breakaway assist with Renisha Frank. And then Sandra Jakobsen added the third goal in the 27th minute on a ball that was just bouncing around in the box, and she was able to put her foot on it. So, looks like that injury is going to be on for number 12, Rachel Armitt. She's a senior midfielder out of Wishaw, Scotland, so we hope she's okay. Glad to see her up. As we resume action here, we have a foul called on Lee. And Graceland's going to try to make a quick jump. And cheeky little flick on by Central. It was a good idea. There's no one there to kind of complete that play. Got some oohs and ahs from the crowd, or at least from the Central bench. So, free ball. And on Central side, Zamora gives chase, and she's going to send that over to Oliveris. Oliveris with it now. 1 minute left in half number 1. And Ranclev with a shot right at Lopez, though. Good job by Kaya Ranclev. Good offensive push there with just a few seconds remaining here in the first half. And that's that's going to do it here for half number one. So some quick stats for you guys as we head into the halftime break. Like I said, Central just cruising on offense. 17 shots, 8 shots on goal, 1 corner, 2 offsides, and 5 fouls. Graceland, 0 shots, 0 shots on goal, 6 saves for Lopez. 3 first-half goals, starting with Renisha Frank in the 6th minute. Witt added the goal in the 15th, and then Sandra Jakobsen on a tap-in the 27th. So Central leads Graceland 3-0 here in the nightcap of a busy day. We'll be back in exactly 14 minutes and 26 seconds and counting. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications here at Central. As always, we appreciate you guys listening in. You are listening to CMU Women's Soccer on the Heart Conference Network. right, ladies and gents, welcome back for half number 2. We've got women's soccer action here for you. Central leads Graceland University by a score of 3-0. We're going to have a corner kick. That's deflected out. Celine Witt's going to have a shot. That's going to be good through the uprights of the field goal post. So if we were playing American football, that'd be 3 points. Alas, we are not. So it really doesn't mean much except a goal kick for the Yellow Jackets. Central 3 first half goals. Renisha Frank started it off. And then Celine Witt on a little bit of a breakaway. And then Sandra Jakobsen capped it off. A little bit of a threat there from Graceland, but Gonzalez Oliveira right there comes a little bit off her line just to come and grab that. And Central's going to reset. Carly Edwards to Jade Perron. And she's looking for Frank. Frank just as off to Perron. Try to do a little give and go, but too much leg on that for Perron. And that'll be a goal kick for Yellow Jackets. Heisenbeck sends it up to Edwards. Edwards over to Jakobsen. Jakobsen. Surveyo back to Edwards. Heisenbeck over to Fajeda. And I think that's Henriksen on the far side. Tries to chase that one down, but too far for us, so that's going to be a Graceland goal kick. Celine Witt. And Pinchard looking for Frank. Cluster of Yellow Jackets still right there. So looking at some scores from around the conference today on the women's side. Mid-American Nazarene shuts out Culver Stockton 4-0. William Penn handles Evangel 5-0 in Springfield. Park knocks off Mount Mercy 1-0. Benedictine earns a 3-1 home victory over Clark. Baker and Grandview ended a 1-1 tie, and obviously you've got Central Women's Soccer here in the nightcap, leading 3-0. Surveyo. And they're going to call a foul. Foul's going to be on number 12, Rachel Armit. And Frank was looking for the header. Pinchered right there. And you can see Jakobsen not too pleased with that. She shows her frustrations in the back of the net, but it's going to be a goal kick for the Yellow Jackets. Good scoring opportunities. They'll have some more here, I'm sure. Jakobsen with it. Carly Edwards, see if she can chase it down. Not quite, though. And we're going to have a foul. Perone's the one that got knocked down. Looks like that's going to be on number 2, Mikkel Yallop. She's a senior at a Freeport, Bahamas. And Heisenbeck and Central are going to get a free kick. Heisenbeck waits for Central to get set. The official's giving some instructions to the wall. Official gives the okay. Heisenbeck sends one in. Perron was right there. And Central scored. I'm not sure if they gave an offsides, and they did. Looks like that would have been number 10, Raquel Fajeda. I don't know if I agree with that call, but I'm not an official, so I'll say no more about it. Perron. So on the men's side, looking at some scores from today for men's soccer, MNU shuts out Culver Stockton 3-0. William Penn, same thing, 3-0 over Evangel. Mount Mercy defeats Park 2-1 in Cedar Rapids. Obviously, the CMU men shut out Graceland 2-0. Benedictine currently leads Clark 2-1 with 38-13 left in the second. And Grandview and Baker are still scoreless in Baldwin City with 39:52 left to go in the second half. Ball comes in. Lopez gathers it. And Lopez, she's had a busy night. Lopez, this is her 5th appearance. 360 total minutes. 0-1-0. Not sure if that's accurate, though, if you've played 4 games. So, SIDs just need to be updating the stats, I think, making sure those records are in. Alas, this is her fifth appearance of 2022 as Perron. Jakobsen. Heinrichsen over on the far side. Back to Jakobsen. Jakobsen, she's got space. Tried to get a little too cute with the footwork, though, and it didn't work. I liked the idea, though. Just a little over 15 minutes gone here in this second half. Central still leads Graceland 3-0 as Heisenbach's going to bring it up to midfield. Over to Edwards. Edwards back to Heisenbach in those signature red shoes. Fajeda. Cerveo. Cerveo over to Pinchard. Heinrichsen with it now. See, she's going to send one to the box. She had Raquel Fajeda right there, but that would have been a perfect tap in just on that near post. Couldn't quite get all of her foot on it. Excuse me, that's Perron who had the shot. But great, beautiful kick in by Henriksen. And we've got a Graceland yellow jacket down on the field. We will see if the official stops the clock so the trainers can come out and take a look. That's number 2, Mikkel Yellup. Cerveo on the corner kick. On the near side, she sends one in. Graceland clears it. Frank, though, gets a shot on. A little bit of a whiff, and that ball's deflected. Central's going to remain in possession, though. Cerveo with it now. Over to Jakobsen. Witt. Perron. Good job by Yallop right there to kind of take that one away. And Gomez. Ishbel Wilson. Cerveo. Over to Edwards on the near side. And Perron goes down, and that's going to be a foul on Yellup, and we're going to get a stoppage in play on the clock, so they may give her a clock! Stop your clock! Heisenbach with it now. So Graceland foul is going to turn into a free kick, almost from the identical spot as we had earlier. So physical action down here on the near side. Heisenbach sends it in. I think Cerveo had her head on it. Fajeda was right there too. And we're going to get a couple more subs. So for Graceland, that's going to be number 4, Lexi Zabel. She's replacing number 7, Adelia Bristott, and Alexis Ashmore. Number 17 is going to replace number 15, Karis Pinchard for CMU. And Jakobsen steals it away. Over back to Cerveo. Fajeda. Up to Carly Edwards. See if she can corral that. She can't, but it's going to be a throw in for Central as Yellup tapped that one out of bounds. Jakobsen. Nice dish from Perron to Jakobsen. Jakobsen's going to send one in. And a wide open net for Central. I think that was Alexis Ashmore. She had a wide open shot and just sailed it over the crossbar. And this game should be 4-0 right now. Substitution for Graceland, number 20, Hannah Marshall. She's coming in for Yallop. Another good chance for Central to pad that lead. See if they can add a couple more here before time runs out. Just a little under 26 minutes. And we're going to have a stop on the clock. And I think we're going to get a yellow card. Yep. And I think that's going to be assessed to number 17, Alexis Ashmore. So she obviously frustrated with that missed opportunity. Jakobsen over to Cerveo. Also want to give a shout out to our Director of Athletics, Mr. Jeff Sherman. He was recently announced as a 2022 inductee into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. That was announced this past Wednesday, and I believe that induction ceremony is going to go in. They will be enshrined, I believe, November 20th in Columbia. Normally that event is held in Springfield, but they're mixing it up a little bit to get some more coverage in some other areas of part of the state. So big shout out to Jeff. He finished his career with 668 victories as our head men's basketball coach, and now he's our director of athletics. So big shout out to Mr. Jeff and all that he's done. He's already a Hairston Hall of Famer, so he's just padding to his resume, and now that as he leads our department. Jakobsen on the near side. She's going to send one in. Graceland clears it. Say Witt dishes it off to Edwards. Edwards over to Fajeda. And turnover. Turnover for Graceland. That's going to be Zabel. Cerveo dishes off to Jakobsen. Jakobsen with a little bit of space. Jakobsen looking for Frank. Beautiful pass. Frank sets it up in the box. Took one too many dribbles, though, and Graceland able to get it out of danger. And it looks like Jakobsen's down on the field. So she might have gotten clipped there. See if she's okay. So it looks like probably didn't feel good, but she's up, which is good. Just under 20 minutes remaining here. Central 3 first half goals, won by Frank, Witt, and Jakobsen to really get the ball rolling. Cerveo. And we're going to have a stoppage in play. And Witt was looking for Fajeda. Or excuse me, Perone. Graceland a little trouble clearing that ball. And we're going to have another couple subs here for Central. So re-entering is going to be number 3, Kitty Tork. And then number 25, Grace Faherty. Perron. Over to Torek. Torek. Frank! Off the crossbar again. Man. Tough night at the office. That's the second one. It's the second one that they've missed on. Perron. She's going to be fouled. Foul number 12, Rachel Armit. Graceland's going to have another substitution. Looks like it's going to be number 9, Bailey Malecki, senior defender out of Independence, Missouri. And for Central, you got number 6, Julio Rodriguez. And then number 8, Daniela Machado. And there's going to be a whole host of substitutions. Edwards. Jakobsen. Back to Edwards. Over to Zamora. just under 10 minutes gone here. Excuse me, left in half number 2. Central 3-0 lead, and I think that might be one of the first shots on for Graceland as number 26 Celeste Robledo gets a shot, and Central's clearing its bench now, getting everyone some playing time. And we're going to have a new goalkeeper as well, so Max de Armas Colombo is going to make her debut in tonight's match with a little over 9 minutes remaining. right, that's going to do it here at Davis Field here in Fayette, Missouri. Central Methodist is going to earn a 3-0 win over Graceland University. Central improves to 7-2-1 overall and a 3-0-1 mark in conference play. Graceland drops to 1-6-1 and 0-4 in conference play. See if I can pull up some quick stats for you guys before we depart. Again, we appreciate you guys sticking out with us. It's been a long day here on the campus of Central, but again, we appreciate you guys for sticking out with us and enjoying some great athletic programs. So, some final stats for you as we wrap things up. Central absolutely rolled on offense. 26 shots, 10 shots on goal, no saves, 5 corners, 3 offsides, 8 fouls. Graceland just managed 1 shot, no shots on goal with 7 saves. Overall solid evening for Central as they come away with a 3-0 victory. They're going to be at home. They will remain at home when they host the Valor of Evangel University. That's going to be a 5 o'clock kickoff on Wednesday, September 28th. Again, we appreciate you guys sticking out with us. I appreciate my crew and for all they do for us. Natalie Quinteros and Grace Pinkerton running my broadcast, Alan on stats, and of course my GA, Caitlin Streeter, Tim Crowley, and Lydia Vicente Rivera on the scoreboard, and just making everything possible. We appreciate you guys. So that's going to do it here from Davis Field. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD Director of Athletic Communications here at Central. You have been listening to CMU Women's Soccer on the Heart Conference Network. We'll catch y'all next time.